ready, number 13.
Oh, excuse me, princess.
Hello, Egrets. I'm Egret number 13, and welcome back to where we help new and upcoming Egrets. Today, we'll be going over the best silvers to invest in, both in the early game and in the late game. To start off, unlike bronzes, there are a lot more silvers in the game, actually, twice as many. With the new silvers added in October and November 2025, there are now 4 silvers for each character, totaling a whopping 72 silvers. Because of the sheer abundance of silvers compared to bronzes, there are way more good options to invest in. That said, this can also leave newer players feeling overwhelmed and confused about who to prioritize. So this video is meant to help those players out, as well as anyone else looking for good silvers to spend their resources on. In this video, I won't just focus on great offensive units that melt through the game. Instead, it'll be a balanced mix of damage, utility, and support fighters that will make your early to mid-game journey a lot smoother. Most of these fighters will also stay relevant in the late game, so you won't feel like you wasted your resources. Because of that, this list will be broken down into 2 parts, support silvers and pure offense silvers. But before we start, there are 2 disclaimers. This list focuses on the silvers that stand out the most and the ones I personally find the most useful to invest in first. Just because I didn't mention a silver doesn't mean they're bad, it just means the ones listed here shine a bit brighter. The order of this list is completely random and does not reflect overall strength. I find that ranking things numerically can be distracting from the actual discussion, so I've decided to keep things simple. So, without further ado, let's move into the first part of the video. Best Silver Offensive Units. First on our list is Purrfect Dark. Purrfect Dark is a silver dark type misfortune that stands out due to her insane damage and solid utility. She has a 14,500 attack stat, which, combined with Misfortune's kit and a timeless death mark, makes her incredibly threatening. She also has access to one of the easiest curses in the game, inflicting a timeless curse after just 10 seconds of being active, similar to Dark Horse. Because she's a misfortune, she's pretty easy to use even without going into headless mode. Her high attack paired with her kit allows her to melt through the early game without much trouble. When you do get better at the game and learn how to play around headless mode, she becomes even more rewarding. Her second SA, while rarely used, does reward skillful play and proper headless gameplay. Overall, she's a fighter you can pick up and use effectively with very little experience, but she also scales well with skill. No matter how you play her, she'll feel rewarding. Safe to say, she's a must-have in any player's collection. Second on our offensive list is Ninja Star. Ninja Star is similar to Purrfect Dark in that she offers a really solid balance between utility and damage. She has easy buff removal simply by hitting an attacking opponent, which is easily achieved by just playing the game correctly. She also inflicts guard break, allowing her to keep constant pressure on opponents. Her second SA is also really strong. It increases the damage of her projectiles by 50% for each debuff on the opponent. With just 2 debuffs, projectile moves like Sagan Beam, Gravity Slingshot, and Crescent Cut will be doing double damage. However, to get the most value out of this SA, she needs to be paired with supports like Martial Outlaw that can apply extra debuffs, since Annie's kit on its own doesn't provide many. Annie as a character is already built for damage, with moves that have very high damage scaling and even deal percentage-based damage. When you combine that with Ninja Star's damage boost, she can put out some absolutely insane numbers while she's on the field. In the late game, she really shines in modes that demand raw damage, such as prize fights and undying events. She's able to bulldoze through most PF defense teams and score incredibly high in undying runs. You definitely won't regret investing in her early on. Third on our list is Soul Crusher. Soul Crusher is widely regarded as one of the best bronzes in the game, and for good reason. For starters, she's a Black Dahlia, which means she comes pre-installed with everything that makes Dahlia strong: incredible damage, easy access to Deadeye, a strong marquee ability, a solid prestige ability, and more. At first glance, you might think Soul Crusher's signature abilities are redundant, since a lot of what she does overlaps with Dahlia's base kit. Every Dahlia already has access to Deadeye, so why have it in her signature ability? Guard Break is also available through Stage Hazard, which can make that part of her signature ability seem unnecessary. Even her second SA looks similar to Parting Gift on paper. However, what makes Soul Crusher so strong is how she uses these abilities. Similar to Stand Out, her Deadeye activates exactly when you need it most, right as opponents gain buffs like Unflinching, Evasion, or Thorns. Her Guard Break is incredibly easy to inflict and helps her maintain constant pressure, especially when paired with Dahlia's long dash attack and ground combo, which are very likely to trigger Guard Break and create an opening. Her second SA's damage boost also isn't redundant. It scales with Parting Gift, allowing her to deal even more damage overall and significantly increase her average DPS. It's safe to say she's a must-have variant no matter what stage of the game you're in. She shines pretty much everywhere, striking a good balance between damage and utility, and is easily comparable to some golds, and even certain diamonds. Fourth on our list is Danger Prone. Danger Prone is one of the newer silvers added to the game in October 2025, and she was immediately considered very strong. Boasting nearly a 12,000 attack stat in Parasol's kit, she was quickly seen as one of the best bronzes in the game. Parasol's kit provides a lot of utility through her taunts, along with great damage that mostly comes from her blockbusters. Danger Prone is able to easily gain haste and spam blockbusters simply by dashing back. She also inflicts Armor Break, which removes annoying defensive buffs and further increases her damage. She's also extremely cheap to build for a Parasol. While most Parasols want around 70 to 100% crit rate and 100% crit damage, Danger Prone only needs 100% crit damage and about 40 to 50% crit rate, since the rest can be gained through her marquee ability, Critical Thinking. Yes, Danger Prone is the only Parasol that prefers Critical Thinking over Critical Mass. Her second signature ability increases her crit damage by 100% while benefiting from haste, which, when combined with the 100% you build from stats, puts her right at the crit damage cap. Her main drawback is that she can be a bit risky to use. Dashing back leaves you open to blockbusters and projectiles, and her second SA also buffs the opponent's crit damage. That said, this risk can be easily mitigated by running supports like Pickle Baller or Superluminal. In the late game, she's also incredibly useful in Rift, thanks to how easily she can secure blockbuster kills alongside Parasol's kit. She also shines in prize fights in parallel realms due to her high damage output. All in all, she's a silver that's very newbie friendly because of how cheap she is to build, while still standing out in the late game thanks to her damage and strong kit. Fifth on our list is Nightshade. Like Danger Prone, Nightshade is one of the new silvers added in November 2025, and the best word to describe her is simply broken. She's a silver Eliza with access to Deadeye, a damage boost, and an extremely easy permakill. As an Eliza variant centered around Sekhmet mode, she's very easy to use, and she actually has a better damage boost and higher attack than her gold counterpart, Diva Intervention. While her Deadeye won't come into play as often, it's still a very valuable tool to have on an Eliza. What really makes her stand out, though, is her permakill. It's incredibly easy to activate, and it's attached to a character with one of the best kits in the game. Eliza already has access to tons of utility through her base kit, and her biggest weakness, damage, is completely fixed by Nightshade's second signature ability. Safe to say, she's a must-have for just about anyone. Sixth on our list is Biohazard. Biohazard was also one of the new silvers added to the game, and she immediately stood out from the rest due to how fun she is to use and how much she can do. She can easily stack up to 6 buckshots and loop them in a single combo, allowing her to keep constant pressure on the opponent while stripping buffs and increasing her damage with every buckshot. Her second signature ability is what really pushes her over the edge. It allows her to instantly heal back to 100% health, an ability that's normally only seen on variants like Dark Lord, and even then, only once per match. She's honestly just broken. A silver with a signature ability you'd expect to see on a gold. You're essentially investing in a gold-level fighter for the cost of a silver, which is something you definitely don't want to miss out on. With that, we move on to the second part of the video. The best silver supports to invest in. The first silver support on our list is Maid of Honor. Maid of Honor is considered one of the best silver supports because of her insane utility. She can remove buffs like Curse, Hex, and Immobilize while sitting on the bench. That bench debuff removal is super valuable, making her one of the best counters to fighters like Unholy Host, alongside Starlight Rose and Magikarp. Her regen is also really strong, it's basically a constant stack of heavy regen while the active fighter has barrier. On top of that, her ability to grant barrier works perfectly with other barrier supports and users in the game, like Noble Mobile and Spellbent. Being a Marie makes her stand out even more. She has access to infinite revives through her character ability and can make those revives even stronger with her Marquee ability. Put all of this together, and Maid of Honor is not just one of the best silver fighters to invest in but one of the best supports in the game. Second on our list is Rockstar. Rockstar, similar to Maid of Honor, is also a barrier-based support. She's considered super useful mostly because of her insane synergy with a ton of variance in the game, plus her strong meter support. She can grant the active fighter 60% blockbuster meter after 10 seconds of tagging in. And if the active fighter gets timed barrier through their own abilities or a support like Stone Sentinel, Rockstar can grant even more meter. Pair her with Stone Sentinel, and you're looking at 40% blockbuster meter every 10 seconds plus infinite final stand. She also works amazingly with Starlight Rose, giving teammates barrier, debuff removal, blockbuster meter, regen, and enrage all at once. As more barrier users get added to the game, Rockstar only gets stronger. She's a must-have for anyone who enjoys team building and makes a fantastic support early on. She's also super useful in late-game rifts, where her easy meter generation allows for fast blockbuster kills. Keep her invested and ready in your collection, you won't regret it. Third on our list is another silver Philia, Clue Chaser. Clue Chaser was one of the new silvers introduced in the October update. She's not broken or insanely strong, so you might be wondering why she's even on this list. She's here because of how simple and effective she is. Her first ability is a lifesaver for a lot of newer players who don't have the coins or resources to invest in full crit sets for fighters that need crit rate, like Bad Ms. Frosty or Freaky Friday. Having Clue Chaser in the back helps a ton, since she increases the crit rate of all teammates by 10% every 3 combo hits. That means you can reach 100% crit rate in just 30 combo hits. Her second signature ability is also very useful, as it lets you completely ignore all defense and armor the opponent may have. A lot of early game players don't have much piercing on their fighters, so being able to bypass defense entirely is huge. She's also a Philia, which means she has access to bleed through Ringlet Spike to chip away at opponents' health, and she can heal herself using Leech. She may not perform as well in the late game, but considering how cheap she is to build, investing in Clue Chaser early on is definitely not a waste. Fourth on our list is Rose-Tinted. Rose-Tinted is a bit of a special case, since she shines mostly as a support and defensive unit. While she's on the bench, her barrier and debuff removal act as a useful safety net. She can remove debuffs like Curse and Hex, and grant extra health through barrier to help you survive. That said, this safety net isn't amazing on its own and works best when paired with a Valentine using the Trauma Center Marquee. When you move into the late game, she really starts to shine in Rift battles. Her signature ability forces opponents to bring buff removal or Deadeye to deal with her, which makes her very strong on triple nodes or solo nodes with Doomsday Device. Because of this, you'll often see Rose-Tinted in Rift bases even deep into the late game. She's not a top priority investment, but she's a must-have if you want to take Rifts seriously. And considering how cheap she is to build, it definitely won't be a waste to have her invested. So that marks the end of the video. We went through 10 silver variants that are strong for different purposes, and I hope this helps new players who are getting into the game. Silvers are an important step when transitioning into the late game, and with so many options available, it can be confusing to know who to invest in. Hopefully, this video helped at least a few of you decide who to build next. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this list. Be sure to like and subscribe if you found this content useful, and thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.